Hello, 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 hello.
Recording in progress.
Check, check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at the moment we've been waiting for. I request you to please take your seats. We shall be beginning in the next few moments. I request all of you to please quickly take your seats. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to see everyone proudly taking pictures here. To our friends joining us virtually, please stay tuned. We've got our incredible chief guests in the house. The dignitaries are here, and certainly all the members of the community of the Institute are here in this room. So I please quickly request you to take your seats. We want to begin this convention right away. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, governance professionals, ladies and gentlemen. What a glorious afternoon this is. I'm your host for today's inaugural session, Anchor Hardik Vaidya, and on behalf of the entire team at the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, I extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. आप सभी अपना समय निकाल के आज यहाँ आए, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. ICSI, ladies and gentlemen, is 73 chapter strong pan-India. It has over 75,000 members and 2 lakh students counting. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and Sabka Prayas. These inspiring words of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, acts as our guiding light, as a guiding force to envision the participation of all citizens to steer India's economic growth towards a developed economy by the year 2047, and certainly a $30 trillion economy too, with the vision to become the 3rd largest economy in the world. The Indian economy is getting towards incredible growth year after year. In this direction, to support this ambitious initiative of the Government of India, the ICSI has put together today's 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries on the theme India at 2047, Expanding Horizons for Professional. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. A truly momentous occasion for all of us sitting here in this room. To make this grand vision a reality, each professional sitting in this room is going to play a very, very pivotal role. We are thrilled that we're joined by our esteemed chief guest and our dignitaries sitting in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would request all of you to please give the thunderous loud of applause to our chief guest, Srimati Madhavi Puri Buch, Chairperson SEBI, escorted by the President ICSI CSB Narsimhan and Vice President CS Dhananjay Shukla. Welcome, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you in the house. Joining the dignitaries on the dais, we have the Program Director and Council Member, the ICSI, CS Pawan G. Chandak. Welcome, sir. Joining them on stage is the Secretary at the ICSI, CS Ashish Mohan. Welcome, sir, once again. And joining them on the stage is Chairman, Western India Regional Council of the ICSI, CS Mehul Ganesh Rajput. Welcome, sir. And to all the dignitaries on the dais, once again, it's a privilege to have each one of you here, sitting with us here this afternoon. Marching forward, the ICSI has a vision to become a global leader in promoting corporate governance. Ma'am, It's our motto that reads Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, which means speak the truth and abide by the law. While our vision portrays a truly modern approach, the motto was, however, sourced from one of the most oldest and ancient scriptures, the Taittiriya Upanishad. Before we play our beloved ICSI motto song, I'll humbly request all the dignitaries on the dais and all the members in the audience to please rise so that we can show our mark of respect to our lovely motto song. Can we please have the AV on the screen?
उम्मीद के अंबर में हम बन के खिले जो रोशनी कह देंगे हम संसार को कोई लक्ष्य नामुमकिन नहीं ज्ञान के और न्याय के हर राह को थामे हुए चल पड़े हैं झूम कर बस गीत ये गाते हुए सत्यम वद धर्मम चर सत्यम वद धर्मम चर सत्यम वद धर्मम चर कंपनी सचिव कदमों की हर एक गूंज में बस जीत का एहसास हो राष्ट्र प्रगति पथ पे हो और आत्मबल की आस हो जब भी चले इस भाव से खुलते गए हैं रास्ते आवाज हमने दिल से दी है गीत ये गाते हुए सत्यम वद धर्मम चर सत्यम वद धर्मम चर सत्यम वद धर्मम चर हर उन्नति के रंग में हर भारतीय हाथ हो उद्यम हो या उद्योग हो हर ओर अपना साथ हो जाना शिखर तक है हमें सच की कलाई थाम कर हम जीत के सुर छेड़ेंगे गीत ये गाते हुए सत्यम वद धर्मम चर सत्यम वद धर्मम चर सत्यम वद
Wow, that was truly lovely. The sight that I had from here was members, the council members who were proudly beaming and singing the motto song, which is truly a testament to how proud we are as governance professionals. With that being said, I will now request President ICSI, CSB Narasimhan, to extend a very warm welcome gesture to our chief guest, Srimati Madhavi Puri Boj. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us this afternoon. It's truly a privilege. Marching forward. With that being said, it's now time to light the lamp. The lamp is an extremely important symbol in the Indian culture and tradition. With that being said, any auspicious start always starts with lighting of the lamp. I will request our chief guest and the dignitaries on the dais to please do the needful. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. The lighting of the lamp truly signifies this one beautiful shloka which goes as Shubham Karoti Kalyanam, Arogyam Dhan Sampada, Shatru Buddhi Vinashaya, Deepa Jyotir Namastate, which essentially means we bow down to you, O light, and we seek your support, all the blessings and all the guidance, and destroy the enemy. Thank you. Thank you very much to all our esteemed dignitaries and our chief guest, ma'am, for doing the needful. With that being said, I'd now like to invite CS Mehul Ganesh Rajput, Chairman, WIRC at the ICSI to introduce the dignitaries on the dais. Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Chief Guest of the Day, Srimati Madhavi Puri Booth, Chairperson SEBI, the youngest President of ICSI, CS B. Narasimhan Sir, भारतीय कंपनी सचिव संस्थान के उपाध्यक्ष महोदय CS धनंजय शुक्ला जी, past President, past Secretary CS Ashish Mohan ji, Secretary ICSI, Program Director and Council Member CS Pawan Chandak, the man behind this show, all the sitting and former Regional Council Member, sitting and former Chapter Chairman, sitting and former Central Council Member, past President, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and warm welcome to all of you. It is my privilege to be here on behalf of ICSI for introducing the dignitaries in the inaugural session of 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries on the theme of India at 2047, expanding horizon for professionals. India at 2047 is a transformative vision for shaping the future of India. It is a long-term vision that will harness India's demographic dividend. It is a symbol of hope, progress, and empowerment. From the rural heartlands to the urban cities, laying a foundation for a stronger, resilient nation, this vision is bound to expand the horizon for a profession, necessitating the continuous innovation to meet the evolving trends. As a governance professional, the commitment of company secretary is crucial for ensuring the growth of corporate India. The theme of convention is indeed relevant for harnessing the talent of company secretaries. Toward achieving the vision, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So let us pledge to be dedicated and persistent in the journey of Viksit Bharat. I would now like to welcome and introduce our chief guest for today, Srimati Madhavi Puri Booth, Chairperson SEBI. Madam Booth took charge as Chairperson SEBI in March 2022. She served as whole-time member of SEBI till 4th of October 2021. She has handled Market Regulation Department, Market Integrity Regulation Supervision Department, Integrated Surveillance Department, Investment Management Department, Department of Economic and Policy Analysis, Office of Investor Assistant and Education, National Institute of Securities and Market, Information Technology Department. She has also served as consultant to New Development Bank in Shanghai and head of Singapore office of the private equity firm. Greater Pacific Capital, she also served as managing director and CFO at ICSI Securities Limited and ED on the board of ICICI Bank. She also served as a non-executive director on the board of various companies. She holds an MBA from the IIM Ahmedabad and is graduate in mathematics and from St. Stephen's College, New Delhi. We also have with us our President CS B. Narasimhan Sir, Vice President CS Dhananjay Shukla ji in the inaugural session of 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries. I extend my greetings and good wishes to all the associated with the convention and request all the delegates to engage with enthusiasm for making this event a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for introducing all the esteemed dignitaries on the dais. It's now time to address the welcome. And now, with that, also talk about the introduction of the theme for these 3 days of convention. Please join me in welcoming CS Pawan G. Chandak, Program Director and Council Member at the ICSI.
Thank you. Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to all of you for this 52nd National Convention of ICSI, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Today we have with us Chief Guest, Srimati Madhavi Puri Booth, Madam, Chairperson, Securities and Exchange Board of India. We welcome you, Madam, to this inaugural session and this convention. We have, I recognize the presence of CS B. Narasimhan Sir, President ICSI, CS Dhananjay Shukla ji, Vice President ICSI, CS Mehul Rajput ji, Chairperson WRC ICSI, Secretary ICSI, CS Ashish Mohan ji, all the past president, my esteemed council colleagues, immediate past president, former presidents, past secretaries, past council members, past and present regional council members, past and present chapter chairmen and chapter managing committee members, my esteemed members, fellow members, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you and a very good afternoon to all of you. This 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries hosted in Mumbai for a reason. We always say that Mumbai is a city of dream. Why it is called a city of dream? We know in today's world, opportunities has to be created. But in Mumbai, opportunity waits for you. And that is why we want to make our profession, we want to take our profession in a direction where in 2047, when the 100 years of our Indian independence as a country is celebrated, where our profession would be. And for that, a city of dream, a city where opportunity waits, and you don't have to create the opportunities. So to assemble here, to do the manthan, what is called as Amrut Manthan, Sagar Manthan, and take the Amrut from that, and take our profession in a new direction, where we want, what are the new legislations, what are the new opportunities, what are the new areas where we as a company secretaries can explore, experience, and also grow. Not only we as a profession grow, but our contribution in the national wealth building, our contribution in the building of vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, where everything is lying, and today Madam is present here. We also know that unless and until the corporate world flourishes now, we have seen all the agriculture development, industrial development, and many other things. But to cross the 10 million US dollars, 30 billion US dollars, those targets which are set by our government, central government, corporatization has to flourish. And we have seen n number of IPOs which are lined up. Every day we are having, instead of the front page of the newspaper, it is a front page, it is containing the advertisement of some or other IPO which is coming up. So friends, we as a company secretary have n number of opportunities, and I am sure we are capable, not only capable, but we are desperate to deliver this corporate world. That is why the vision, that is why the theme, India at 2047. So when the India would be, what India would be at 2047, that is Vikasit Bharat. Expanding horizons for professionals. We as a professional, we have to expand our horizons, and when we think that we have to expand our horizons, it is our experience, it is our capabilities which has to expand, so as to serve what is expected out of us, and then only we as a company secretary would be more recognized. All the things will come, will fall in its place, but for that we need to have such gatherings, we need to have the deliberations, and the panelists and the faculties which are lined up in the course of 3 days. I am sure everyone who is present in person or on virtual platform, everyone would be able to take many takeaways, not one, two, but the many takeaways wherein what future holds for us, what our approach should be, how we should tackle the institutions like ICSI, how all our members have to configure our mindset. Instead of just restricting ourselves to 2, 3, 4, 5 areas, there are plethora of areas, plethora of opportunities. That is why expanding horizons for professionals. So with these words, I once again welcome you all to this city of dream, Mumbai, and I welcome all of you for this 52nd National Convention of Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and I am really thankful to each one of you for wholeheartedly supporting the cause of this holding of this convention, and without your support, without your participation, nothing is possible. So I appeal to all of you to raise to this occasion and give a huge round of applause for yourself for what our profession would be at 2047. I wish best Amrut Manthan जिसको हम बोल सकते हैं. I also wish that we have a very fruitful and memorable 3 days of learning, fun, networking, and lot more. And don't forget to carry the memories of this national convention, because this national convention would be a milestone for setting the tone for remaining next 25 odd years of our profession. With this hope and belief that we would prove ourselves correct, right, confident and deliverable in not only the corporates but also our contribution in the nation building. With this, thank you one and all for patient listening and participating in this national convention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chandak, for these incredible words. Marching forward, it's now time to invite the Vice President of the ICSI, CS Dhananjay Shukla, to address this August gathering. Over to you, sir. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
आप सभी को नमस्कार. नमस्कार. भारतीय कंपनी सचिव संस्थान के इस 52वें राष्ट्रीय अधिवेशन के अवसर पर मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में उपस्थित हमारी देश की सबसे बड़ी रेगुलेटर श्रीमती माधवी पुरी बुच जी की उपस्थिति हमको बहुत गौरवान्वित और आह्लादित करने वाली है. कि कृपया एक बार जोरदार तालियों से मैडम का स्वागत और अभिनंदन करें. तालियां थोड़ी धीरे बज रही हैं. मैडम, आपकी उपस्थिति से हम अभिभूत हैं, आह्लादित हैं और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि आपके मुख से जो भी आशीर्वचन आने वाले हैं हम सबको बहुत ही मोटिवेट करेंगे. चीफ गेस्ट ऑफ द डे श्रीमती माधवी पुरी बुच जी, चेयरपर्सन सेबी. CSB नरसिम्हा, द यंगेस्ट प्रेसिडेंट एज बेहुल सेट, 72 वर्षीय युवा राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष. CS पवन जी चांदक, Program Director and Council Member, and the person and the brain behind this convention under the able leadership of President ICSI, ably supported by Preeti, Alka and CSD, the Secretariat. Former Presidents present over here, former Secretaries, my able and learned Central Council colleagues, CS Ashish Mohan, Secretary ICSI, former and present Chairman of the Regional Council, present Regional Council members, former and present Chapter Managing Committee members, distinguished invitees, eminent speakers, professional colleagues, distinguished delegates present over here, the delegates who have joined this national convention through virtual mode, students, ladies and gentlemen, greetings of the day and a very good afternoon to all of you. I feel extremely honored to welcome Chief Guest, Madam Madhvi Puri Buch ji, Chairperson SEBI. We are fortunate enough that this convention is going to be inaugurated at her hands. It's a great opportunity for all of us and we eagerly await for your motivating words, as I said, and I'm sure that is going to be very enriching and inspiring for all of us. It is indeed a privilege and honor to welcome each one of you for your gracious presence in this annual mega event. Standing here in the vibrant city known for dreams and opportunity, the resilience of its people, I feel honored to be a part of this remarkable event and gathering. Certainly, the quote, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams," resonates deeply with the spirit of Mumbai. Friends, the theme of the convention is India at 2047, Viksit Bharat, symbolizes not just a destination, but a vision of hope, aspiration, and progress, and it holds immense significance as we move towards the journey of making our nation a developed nation. This journey towards 2047 is not only about economic prosperity and economic growth, but also about building an inclusive, sustainable society, broadening horizons for India's workforce, and catalyzing a brighter future for one and all. Over the years, India has demonstrated a remarkable progress. Currently, India stands as the world's 5th largest economy, and its goal to be in the top 3 economies is within reach and stands as a powerful symbol of inspiration and potential for countries around the globe. I would like to recite a verse from Rig Veda संगच्छ्वम संबद्ध्वम समयो मनांसि जानताम देवा भागम यथा पूर्वे संजानानम उपासते। हम सब एक साथ चलें, आपस में संवाद करें और हमारे मन एक हों। दिस श्लोका emphasizes a spirit of unity and collective action, a foundation which is vital to the progress and development of the nation. Viksit Bharat requires every citizen to be a Viksit Bharatiya. By embracing unity and working together, we contribute to the shared mission of transforming our nation into a prosperous and a self-reliant nation. This commitment of a developed nation by 2047 envisions a future where equality, opportunity, and prosperity are within reach for all, ensuring that the benefits of progress touch up every corner of the society. And that is what our Prime Minister Adarani Modi Sahab has been insisting for many years. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Viswas, Sabka Prayas. And that is what Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya gave a proposition of Antodaya, the development of the person standing at the last mile of the society, last point of the society. And that is what Sarvodaya concept was given by late Sri Jayaprakash Narayan ji, development of all, appeasement of none. In ancient times, India stood as beacon of wealth, knowledge and cultural prosperity, admired across the world for its thriving civilization and unparalleled contribution to art, science and philosophy. The glory gradually faded due to unforeseen challenges and historical upheavals. However, the resilience and spirit of our nation have always been strong, and today we stand at the threshold of reclaiming that lost glory through progress, innovation and unity, wherein we are again poised to be the Vishwaguru. India's economic trajectory during the past decade has been remarkable, consistently surpassing global averages. Today, India is the fifth largest economy worldwide and is progressing towards having a global economic prominence. This growth is driven by pioneering an exceptional approach at transforming traditional business practices. Numerous structural reforms, implementation of laws, legislation, streamlining of processes have been done to drive the Indian economy to greater heights in the Amrit Kal. India has also become a very compelling investment destination because of its 3 Ds: demography, democracy and demand. The Union Budget 24-25 reaffirms emphasis on inclusive growth and has outlined a roadmap of Viksit Bharat. India aims to propel it towards a future that elevates its citizens while contributing to the progress of humanity as a whole, because when India grows, the entire world grows. Viksit Bharat vision requires the seamless integration of various sectors, with professionals playing a pivotal role alongside government, industry and society. Today's dynamic environment of growth, expansion and global competitiveness demands convergence of technology and human skills. As we move towards 2047, the landscape of leadership and decision-making will be marked by a blend of technological integration, stakeholders inclusion, and focus on sustainability. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and quantum computing will disrupt traditional models, creating new opportunities and challenges. Professionals across industries will need to adapt to the evolving outlook to become a proactive leader in varied areas, including ethical governance and digital evolution. I would like to mention here one shloka, Uddamain hi siddhanti karyadi na manorthai nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. Success comes through hard work, not by mere wishes, just as prey doesn't enter the lion's mouth while it sleeps. Emerging areas like ADR, ESG, social audit, MSME in startups, artificial intelligence and digital transformation opening up for our profession clearly reflect the trust reposed in us, the expectation of the government and the regulators, and the commitment required from company secretaries in terms of demonstrating high levels of standards that can be harnessed only from immense investment in self-development and training. The ICSI is committed to fostering the development of the profession through a range of strategic initiatives, acknowledging the fact that a dynamic and evolving professional landscape requires continuous learning and growth. The ICSI has been continuously marking unstinted efforts to offer a diverse set of programs and resources aimed at equipping our members and students with the knowledge and skills needed to excel in different areas. Abraham Lincoln once said, and I quote, "The best way to predict your future is to create it," unquote. There are several emerging opportunities we need to act upon proactively, adhering to values of honesty, integrity, and truthfulness. And that is what we have been doing at ICSI. We are integrating many departments. We are trying to foster the chain of the development across all the chapters, regions, CCGRT, and I'm sure together we all would be successful. मैडम यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं। कई बार बाधाएं आती हैं आपको डिसरप्ट करने के लिए, तो मैं एक अटल जी की कविता के साथ समाप्त करूंगा कि बाधाएं आती हैं तो आए, चाहे घिरे प्रलय की घोर गठाएं, पीड़ाओं में पलना होगा, कदम मिलाकर चलना होगा, कदम मिलाकर चलना होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Truly, kadam mila ke chalna hoga, and it reinforces the faith in India's growth story. जब आपने कहा था, when India grows, the whole world grows. With that being said, it's now time to invite the gentleman who's been helming the rise of the Institute. Please join me in welcoming the President ICSI, CSB Narasimhan, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Chief guest, Srimati Madhavi Buch, Chairperson SEBI, my able deputy, CS Dhananjay Shukla, Vice President, Mr. Pawan Chandak, Program Director and my council colleague, my fellow council colleagues present in the audience over here, past presidents, past secretaries, Mr. Ashish Mohan, Secretary ICSI, Mehul Rajput, Chairman WRC, sitting and former regional council members, sitting and former chapter management committee CHIM members, eminent guest speakers, delegates present here and connected virtually, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to you all. Mehul made a comment that the youngest president of ICSI and my vice president revealed the truth by saying, Bahuttar Varsha Yuva. I want to counter it, a lot of pun intended obviously. I want to counter it by saying only one thing. A quote which says that youth is not a stage in your life. Youth is not a stage in your life. It is thus just the status of your mind. And it is for this one reason, we always say, age is just a number. And therefore, I'm here, I also have a council colleague of mine who is less than half my age. He matches up to the wisdom of all of us. That's the greatness of the institute. We have more than 1,500 registration members present in person over here, and we have more than 5,000 registration in virtual mode. I don't know whether it's a record, but all said and done, for an occasion like this, these numbers augurs well. That's what I can say. This is the momentous occasion for ICSI to host the 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries at the economic hub and financial capital of India, Mumbai. The National Convention is a flagship event of Institute which has conceptualized to bring together opportunities for learning, knowledge sharing, networking through deliberations among the regulators, industry expert, members and other professionals. I also intend to say one more thing. On this convention, we have received a National Convention logo, and I'm sure those who have you registered got the logo with you. In order to create a distinct and a unique identity, the ICSI has this year introduced this National Convention logo, which will be year after year on the convention date will be issued to those listed delegates. So this is a new initiative from our side. I extend the deepest gratitude to the chief guest, Srimati Madhavi Buch, Chairperson SEBI, for taking out time amongst a very busy schedule and gracing the inaugural session. The presence of your good self has made this convention all the more memorable and significant to each one of us. The entire CS fraternity is keen to listen to your words of wisdom and guidance for the future. The organization of the 52nd National Convention at Mumbai, Maharashtra, is a very significant, since Mumbai is the financial capital of India. Mumbai is home to the central bank of the country, RBI, corporate houses, nationalized banks, leading financial institutions, as well as the Asia's oldest stock exchange, the BSE, as also the third largest stock exchange in the world, NSE, by terms of equity, and in terms of derivatives, it is the fifth in consecutive in a row, the first number one exchange in the row, in the year. Number one exchange world over. With the well-developed industrial ecosystem established through investment-friendly policies, supportive quality infrastructure, skilled human resource base, Maharashtra has remained the front runner in industrial development. The state is leading in position for receipt of foreign direct investment. The state also contributes maximum share to the gross value added for the manufacturing sector at the all India level with an average of 15.5%. This is as per the annual survey of industries. Maharashtra is also a rich cultural heritage and is known for its vibrant traditions and festivals. Varied customs and traditions coexist peacefully in Maharashtra. The state is well known throughout the country for its rich music and dances like Pawada, Barut, Gondal and Lavani, which are the major forms of folk music in the state. Maharashtra has time and again showed its pragmatic and progressive nature, and the state continued to walk on the path of sustainable development. Madam Chairperson SEBI, we are extremely thankful to SEBI for acceding to request of ICSI to specify ICA's Institute of Social Auditors, ICSI, ISA as a self-regulatory organization for the social impact assessment in context of the social stock exchange. Let's give her a round of applause for that. ICSI will contribute and support the regulator in creating an impactful ecosystem for the social stock exchanges in India. Madam, we wish to apprise your good self that ICSI each year since 2009 has been organizing capital market weeks on various contemporary topics relating to capital markets in India to sensitize and for capacity building of our members. The mega inaugural program is invariably organized either at NSE or BSE. We receive the indulgence of senior SEBI officials, including WTM, ED, to grace the occasion and give their insight and expectation from ICSI and its members on the capital market. It gives me great pleasure in informing that ICSI has so far conducted two-day programs for officials of SEBI. In SEBI on their request, and one each in 2023 and one in 2024. There's one more coming up on 22nd of this month. At the request of SEBI, and incidentally, we also in the year 2022 conducted a mock board meeting for the officials of SEBI in the CFD. We had more than 80 officials of SEBI attending that meeting. It was in the SEBI premises itself. And incidentally, we also introduced certain actions which are contrary to the provisions of the Companies Act and the SEBI regulation, with the intention to seek participation from the members and seek their response to it. And I can tell you, each one of them were very well, we were able to identify the mistake which was held over there. The Institute is in the process of organizing program for members in collaboration with associations of right and InvIT for creating awareness as well as capacity building to build up the ecosystem for these alternate investment schemes. SEBI has been proactively fostering the ease of doing business in the financial and securities market. While SEBI's regulation ensure investor protection and market integrity, they are also instrumental in ensuring a conducive business environment and maintaining effective guidance in the listed entities. In recent years, SEBI has embraced regulatory reforms, fostered innovation, streamlined regulations to reinforce India's position as a preferred investment destination in the global financial landscape. SEBI had constituted 16 committees for ease of doing business with reference to various regulations issued by SEBI. ICSI applauds the initiatives taken by SEBI, and further, ICA was also represented in a number of committees. We are also thankful to SEBI for making ICSI as part of its various standing committees like PMAC and ACLOD. Being a member of the committee, we are privy to the fact that the concept paper put up by SEBI on the impending changes in ICDR and LODR has obtained in principle approval from the board and are presently undergoing legal drafting, and we expect it should see the light of the day in the coming weeks. For the benefit of the members, I will touch upon some of the important changes in the offering during our interactive session on the 10th. I am confident that once the various changes are notified, the same will facilitate ease of doing business and strengthen corporate governance in India, Inc. I would also take this opportunity to apprise Chairperson SEBI that a request from ICSI has been submitted to recognize Company Secretary in practice to conduct compliance audit of various market intermediaries, and I would request your indulgence if it could be looked into. ICSI and we also signed an MOU with the National Institute of NISM, National Securities Market, whereby we are conducting integrated course for our member students, and we expect that students should be in a position to complete the CS course within a span of 2 years, and incidentally, while doing so, he will also get awarded 2 certificates from NISM that he is capable by writing an examination on capital market. In other words, even in the event he does not complete the CS, he has become automatically employable by virtue of the qualification which he has gained by doing the capital market course. Friends, aligned with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, the theme of this convention, India at 2047, expanding horizons of professionals, seeks to promote a holistic exchange of views and perspectives from industry stalwarts and key opinion leaders on the expanding role of professionals, particularly the company secretaries, in effectively contributing towards driving sustainable development and economic growth. There is no denying the fact that the Indian economy is the fastest growing economy in the world, becoming the 5th largest economy, having touched the 3.8 trillion mark, vis-a-vis the 10th largest economy 10 years ago. It's not going to stop here. Honorable Prime Minister's aim is to touch the 10 trillion by 2030. If not the 10 trillion, we are sure to cross the 7 trillion mark, and which has been definitely, the market pundits, including the international ones, have accepted this fact that India will touch the 7 trillion mark by 2030, which when will become the 3rd largest economy in the world. Not to stop here, the government, the aim of the Honorable Prime Minister is to attain the 30 trillion mark by 2047 on the 100th year of independence, which is it's a very difficult one, but nevertheless, I'm sure, if not 2030, we will touch more than 25 trillion by 2047. Friends, company secretaries play a crucial role in progression of the corporate sector. Apart from ensuring good corporate governance, company secretaries are handling roles and responsibilities in various areas. In the journey towards Viksit Bharat, the company secretaries will be instrumental in driving sustainable corporate growth by promoting good corporate governance, fostering transparency, and advancing economic reforms. I take this opportunity to urge the company secretaries and other professionals to augment their knowledge and understanding on emerging subjects, follow developments in international markets, learn new technology and skills, adopt better and transparent work practices, and explore uncharted territories. ICSI organized the 3rd International Conference in Singapore on the 5th and 6th on the theme Building Resilient and Sustainable Economies. And later in the year, on the 4th and 6th of September, we had a conference in Abu Dhabi on the theme Responsible Investment for Sustainable Future. And on the occasion, we also released a booklet on Stewardship Code for Responsible Investing. Friends, our profession has played an immense role in India's growth story by upholding a triumphant tradition of perseverance, hard work, dedication and commitment, and firmly anchor the culture of good governance in corporate India. ICSI has been continuously endeavoring to build capacities of company secretaries in India along expanding the profession presence globally. As professionals, you must act on opportunities coming your way with full dedication and diligence. Before I conclude, I have a very important announcement to make. We are pleased to announce that the launch of the unique membership number for the members of our institute with effect from 1st January 2025. This is as approved by the Council of the Institute in line with the direction which was received from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Under this concept, the ACS or the associate membership number of the members will be retained as a unique number for associate as well as a fellow member. as well as the certificate of practice. The practice of this will ensure that the problem which we had when the V3 was introduced has created a lot of problem by virtue of certain numbers being matched both for AC as well as FCS, which has created a problem, unlike the other two professions where there is only one unique number which continues for their life. So this is expected to make a sea change, and we will share, the institute will be sensitizing the members on the process in detail, and I take this opportunity to seek the support of the members towards this initiative. In conclusion, I extend the warmest welcome once again to all the distinguished guests, speakers and delegates at this convention. Let us make the most of this remarkable gathering, forge new connections, have fruitful discussion and partnering towards Vision Viksit Bharat. I will conclude with the words of Tony Robinson. It is in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. When you decide to embrace the culture of continuous improvement, you should continue to commit to it fully, then you will be unstoppable. I wish you all a fruitful and memorable convention. Lastly, and I heard this from the CEO of NSE, and I felt very thrilled to hearing it, and I thought I will share it now. Mera ho kalyan, aapko ho kalyan, sabko ho kalyan, kalyan ho kalyan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for these inspiring words. Kalyan ho Kalyan. Thank you for unwavering leadership, sir, and certainly growing ICSI year on year. Now, once again, our sincere thanks to all the speakers for setting the context, welcoming all the delegates, and now we've arrived at the unveiling, a very, very important unveiling session of important publications, and certainly the much-awaited awards. Ma'am, the organization of this convention has put together something very, very interesting. To commemorate this momentous occasion, the Institute is pleased to release the souvenir of the 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries, containing the information about the ICSI theme and sub-themes of the National Convention, theme articles and details of multiple sponsors and advertisers, and much more. It would be a privilege to have this publication released at your hands, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, the souvenir of the 52nd National Convention of Company Secretaries. A louder round of applause. Thank you very much. Come on. Marching forward, the provisions of inspection, inquiry, and investigation hold a special significance in corporate governance. These provisions are not just tools for regulatory enforcement, but also instruments for building public trust in corporate entities and ensuring that companies operate within the bounds of law and ethical standards. The handbook, that which we'll be unveiling in just the next couple of moments, Inspection, Inquiry and Investigation under the Companies Act 2013, delves into the legal framework surrounding the processes, the powers vested in regulatory bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the publication on Inspection, Inquiry and Investigation under the Companies Act 2013. Thank you, ma'am. We have yet another publication. Given the long-standing nature of the concept and its altering dynamics, it is significant that an attempt is made to understand the evolution of law in the O&M perspective through the lens of judicial pronouncements made over the years. Keeping in view the opportunities available for practicing professionals, a publication titled Master Guide for Prevention of Oppression and Mismanagement is being brought out in front of you here this afternoon. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for this publication titled Master Guide for Prevention on Oppression and Mismanagement. Thank you, ma'am. All right. The next unveiling is about a very interesting conference. This journey started in Dubai, which was the first conference. Then it was held in London, and then in Singapore. For the 4th international conference, scheduled on the 3rd to 5th of September 2025, ICSI is proud to share that the venue for the upcoming conference is Sydney, Australia. And we have the e-release of this conference. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen, the conference put together by the team organizing in the upcoming year. Marching forward, we also have the last unveiling of the second National Convention on Insolvency and Evaluation. Ma'am, once again, it's a privilege to have this document released at your hands. I will also request the former President, Mr. Manish Gupta, to please join us on stage. Thank you, sir. Please join us. Let's give it up, friends. Come on. With all the unveiling of publications out of the way, it's now time to address the awardees in this room. The chapters and the regions have done incredible work through the year. And it's now time to ensure that we award all these individuals and the regions. The awards are the Best Regional Council Award and the Best Chapter Award were instituted with the intent of honoring the efforts made and the achievements gained by regional councils and chapters, and as well as to stimulate a creative, competitive spirit amongst each other. The various categories of awards are as under: the Best Regional Council Award, the Best Chapter Award, given separately for each grade, the National Best Chapter Award, common for all grades across all the chapters. The annual assessment of all the regional councils and chapters was being evaluated by various directorates on the basis of various activities, compliances as given by the ICSI guidelines for the Best Regional Council and Chapter Awards. Ma'am, it's now time to celebrate the best of the best. Moving forward, the Best Chapter Award in the Gold grade goes to the Kochi chapter of SIRC ICSI. I would request CS Sarat Sasidhar, the then chairman of Kochi chapter of SIRC, and Ms. Smita Subin, executive officer Kochi chapter of SIRC, to please join us on stage. And joining them is the current chairperson of 2024. Friends, please ensure we celebrate our peers, our colleagues who are enriching and strengthening the chapters locally. Congratulations to the Kochi chapter. Marching forward, the Best Chapter Award in the Platinum grade goes to the Hyderabad chapter of SIRC, and I will request CS Lalita Devi Tangirala, the then chairperson of Hyderabad chapter, joining Mr. Srinivas V, executive officer of Hyderabad chapter and the chairperson of 2024, to please join us on stage. Welcome the team. Congratulations to the Hyderabad chapter. Thank you very much. All right, marching forward, the Best Chapter in Diamond grade goes to the Bengaluru chapter of SIRC. I will request CS Parmeshwar G. Bhatt, the then chairperson of Bengaluru chapter, and Ms. Noor Sumaya, executive officer and the chairperson of 2024, to please join us on the dais. Congratulations, team. Let's give it up, friends. Come on. Thank you, team. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to receive these awards at the hand of our chief guest. Congratulations once again to all the winners. It's now time to award the National Best Chapter. And the award for the National Best Chapter goes to none other than the Kochi chapter. And I will request once again CS Sarat Sasidhar, the then chairman of Kochi chapter, Ms. Smita Subin, and 2024 chairperson to please join us once again on stage. The Kochi chapter certainly is making waves in the ICSI community pan-India. Thank you and congratulations once again to Kochi chapter. Now, it's time to award the Best Regional Council Award. Ma'am, the award for the Best Regional Council goes to Western India Regional Council. Of course, there's lots of cheer in the house for the Western India Regional Council. Please join me in welcoming CS Amrita DC Nautiyal, the chairperson of Western India Regional Council, joined by Mr. Sanjay Kumar and the chairperson of 2024. I will request all the regional council members to please join us on stage. Congratulations to the incredibly proud, beaming and happy Western India Regional Council team. A louder round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for your peers representing the Western India Regional Council. Thank you for the cheer, thank you for all the support that you're providing to all the governance professionals in the Western India Regional Council. Once again, congratulations to all the winners. It's absolutely inspiring to see the work that you're doing, so please continue to do this work year on year. And now, we've arrived at the much-awaited address. The address that we've all been waiting for with bated breath. Our speakers alluded to them and the address at the start. I'm truly privileged to welcome the chief guest of the day, Srimati Madhavi Puri Booch, Chairperson SEBI, to address this August gathering. Welcome, ma'am, and over to you.
A very good afternoon to each one of you. It's such a privilege to be here. I must admit that when I learned that there were going to be 1,500 people here, I'm thinking, no pressure, no pressure. And then when they added, no, there are 3,000 people online as well, I'm thinking, hamari total listed company to 5,000 hai. So it just shows to me that this association, the kind of strength that it has and the kind of bonding that it has is truly visible in the numbers today, and I congratulate each one of you for your accomplishment on this front. लोग कहते हैं कि उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है. सेबी में हमारा मानना है कि मार्केट्स ट्रस्ट पे कायम है, और वो जो ट्रस्ट है वो किसके कंधों पे बैठा है, वो सब कंधे आज मेरे सामने. The reflection of the economy is in the markets, and we know that apart from everything else, the most fundamental aspect of the markets is the trust that the corporates inspire amongst investors, whether it is institutional investors or retail investors. As a regulator, we think about this trust in a fairly simple framework. To us, the first and most important pillar of trust is transparency. So when we talk of governance, when we talk of trust, we believe that the first and most important pillar is transparency. Some of you may be aware, आजकल corporate governance और transparency में मुझे काफी experience हो रहा है. As I reflect on this issue of governance, I realize that almost 30 years ago, I had met a group of young management trainees who had joined my then employer, ICSI Bank. And in a training session, they asked me, what do you think, how does one recognize good governance? And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, it's actually quite simple. Imagine a situation where you've taken some action, done something as part of your job. And the next day, in the Economic Times, there's a 3-column article on what you have done. And there are all kinds of speculations and allegations in that column. And supposing your mother-in-law calls you up, very important, why it has to be mother-in-law, and asks you, beta, ye newspaper mein kya pad rahi hu main? Will you duck her call? Or will you, with your head held high, explain to her what you did and why you did it? I didn't realize that I would have to answer that question for my own mother, but I think my definition of corporate governance remains the same today. If you can, with your head held high, answer the people who question you, particularly your loved ones, then you know that you are following the spirit of governance. As far as the law of governance is concerned, there are strong institutions in our democratic country that take care of the legality and the process of ensuring corporate governance. But for us, oh, sorry. But when it comes to the spirit of the law and the spirit of good governance, only your own conscience can guide you, and only your discussion with your loved ones can guide you as to whether you are contributing to transparency and trust in the system or not. As I said, there's the spirit of the law and then there's the letter of the law. So when we look at compliance, and especially the role that all of you play, it's such an important role that you play for every single company in this country. In SEBI, we think about compliance actually in a very simple way for listed companies. And we often say to people who ask us lots of questions about lots of companies, and we say, देखिए, अगर आप हमें पूछेंगे कि स्टॉक एक्सचेंज ने क्या किया या म्यूचुअल फंड ने क्या किया, तो हम उसकी पूरी जिम्मेदारी लेते हैं because they are our children, right? We are the sectoral regulator for all these entities. लेकिन जो listed companies है, वो हमारे बच्चे नहीं हैं, वो सिर्फ हमारे स्कूल में फिजिक्स पढ़ने आते हैं. एक ही सब्जेक्ट हम लोग उनको पढ़ाते हैं. They are completely independent. They may have their own sectoral regulators. अगर कोई बैंक है तो वो रिजर्व बैंक के तहत आते हैं, अगर कोई टेलीकॉम है तो वो ट्राई के तहत आएगा. लेकिन as far as SEBI is concerned, हम उनको सिर्फ फिजिक्स पढ़ाते हैं. तो अगर वो फिजिक्स में फेल हो रहे हैं तो आप हमारे पास आइए, लेकिन ज्योग्राफी हिस्ट्री में फेल हो रहे हैं तो वो हमारा काम नहीं है. Why do I say this? Because it's not just about what we do, but it's a question of what we expect you to do. And you, as the chief compliance officers, as the key management personnel responsible for compliance, we believe that your task, while onerous, is actually not that complex. Why? Because there are, again, just 3 pillars in what SEBI expects you to do. So physics ka question paper सिर्फ 3 भाग में है. बाकी के सब्जेक्ट, you are the best judge, but for us, what are the 3 things we ask for? We say कि देखिए जो इन्वेस्टर है उन्होंने आपको या आपके इन्वेस्टर्स को पैसा दिया है, या तो आईपीओ में या ओएफएस में. अब उसकी जो जिम्मेदारी है, right? Think of large investors, maybe the promoters, who first put in their initial capital into the company. Does the company not have a responsibility to them? Of course it does. Think of the early startup venture capital firms or the private equity firms. They give you money. Do you not have a responsibility to them? Of course you do, and they assert that responsibility. So in a public market, when investors give you money or they give exit to your early investors, you have a responsibility to them as well. The regulator is only the face of all of those investors, because you cannot deal with millions and millions of investors. They cannot assert their rights with you one-on-one. So the regulator has only this simple role to play कि देखिए investors ने पैसा डाला है, तो आपकी कोई जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि आप उनके लिए corporate governance के तौर पे क्या करें. And there are 2 things. The first is disclosure. So we never say, do this, don't do that, you can do this, you can do that. No. We simply say, whatever you are doing, please disclose to the investor. Why is this important? Because every time we say that the investor knows best, or that the market is determined by demand and supply, this comes only if there is an informed investor. And an informed investor can only be there if there's information. Without information, there can be no informed investor. So the first pillar of what we, on behalf of all of those millions of investors, ask of you is please give the investors adequate information for them to make up their mind whether they want to buy, sell, or hold your stock. It's as simple as that. The second thing that we ask you to do is take whatever decisions you want. You are the ones who are creating wealth in this country. It's the corporate sector that is actually creating employment, creating products, creating services, contributing to the GDP of the country, to the wealth creation in the country. We have nothing to say on that. You run your business the way that you want to run your business. However, whenever you take certain types of decisions, for instance, related party transactions, please follow a certain way of taking those decisions so that there is adequate disclosure and so that the investors are aware that when you are dealing with people and you may have some conflict of interest, what is it that the investor can expect from you? So the process of going to audit committee, going to the AGM, majority of minority, all of these issues are really a question of saying, are you following the appropriate process for big decisions that you are taking on behalf of all of your investors? These are the only 2 things we ask of you on a regular basis. The third thing, of course, is a matter of ensuring no wrongdoing, which is the insider trading regulations that you are all subject to. So, again, the question is that if you are privy to information and that the rest of the market is not aware of, you and your employees should not be misusing that information in order to make profit at the cost of other investors. So really speaking, SEBI regulations for listed companies are as simple as this. If you're doing something important, please tell the investor. If you're taking an important decision, please go to the right committee and take approvals. And please ensure that people who are privy to insider information do not make money off of that at the cost of investors. So these compliances, if you really think about the spirit of this, everything falls into place, and then the whole complexity of how do you manage compliances, according to me, when they fit into these 3 nice buckets, it's really simple for you to also communicate to your entire staff as to what it is that you're asking them to do and why you're asking them to do it. So you have this unenviable job of ensuring compliance by the entire company on behalf of the investors who hold the shares of your company. So it is not an enviable job, but that is what creates trust in the system, and that is why I believe that that trust rests on your shoulders. Recently, in SEBI, we have instituted a new mechanism called Industry Standards Forum. We are now taking it to our board to institutionalize it as an integral part of the regulatory architecture. Why is this Industry Standards Forum important? It's important because of two reasons. The first is that in an age where technology is being deployed in every sphere of business, there is no reason why technology should not be applied for compliance, thereby making compliance simply an automatic process that happens on its own. I've said this once before, it should be like a low hum in the background. It just happens on its own. There's no need for management to apply a huge amount of bandwidth to compliance. It should just happen on its own. And technology and automation is the path to that. But in order to facilitate automation, you need standardization. So it cannot be that X feels that this is the way to implement and Y feels that there's a completely different way to implement the regulations. So the first thing is standardization to facilitate automation so that compliance goes out of your mind space on a daily basis and you are free as a corporate to really think about growth and value creation. The second reason why we found this very useful was, in most of the regulations that SEBI brought, the industry would tell us, look, we have no dispute with your regulatory intent. We have no dispute with the objective that you have as a regulator. हमें तकलीफ है कि हम इसे implement कैसे करें और जिस तरह से SEBI expect करती है कि हम ये regulation implement करेंगे या compliance implement करेंगे, वो बहुत मुश्किल है. It's very onerous. Now for us, we are like Arjun. Our focus is only in one place. We want to protect the investor. Now, if the compliance can be achieved in an optimized way through a path of least resistance, कि आपको उधर जाना है, एक टेढ़ी मेढ़ी रोड भी है, एक सीधी रोड भी है, you are the experts. You can come and tell us that if you want to go from point A to point B, which is the path which is most convenient for you? That we want to go to B is the decision that the regulator takes because it has the regulatory intent of protecting investors. But which path to take, we are agnostic to that, and not just agnostic, we would very much want that the easiest, simplest way to that path is adopted so that the entire effort that is expended in compliance is minimized in our country. So the Industry Standards Forum has been working very closely with us across multiple stakeholders to facilitate this industry standards, and I would urge each one of you that if there's anything which is annoying you in your role as the compliance head, if there's something that your business partners are complaining about, if there's something that you yourself believe that this is really a nonsense way of doing it, it's quite possible. Maybe it's antiquated, maybe it's something that needs to change. So I would urge you, please come forward. There is a Industry Standards Forum which has been created jointly by the ASSOCHAM, FICCI and CII, and all of them are fully empowered to take up new issues for implementation under the Industry Standards Forum in consultation with SEBI. So if there's anything that's painful for you, please come to us and we would love to hear that. All of this is in the context of the larger objective that we have for capital formation and ease of doing business. This has been a mantra that we've adopted over a number of months, and I'm very happy to share with you. I'm not sure you can read those numbers very well. Nahi hai na? Theek se nahi aa raha hai. Okay, anyway, I'll give you a summary. So, there was reference to 16 working groups that we had created across our different stakeholders for giving recommendations on ease of doing business, and we got a total of 336 recommendations. 68% of them have already been accepted and are at various stages of implementation. Under 10%, only 9% have not been accepted, mainly because they were inconsistent with the regulatory intent or regulatory objective, and another 23% have working group concluded only in end of September, so these are new things and we are processing them. So the important thing for us is to really track this and to have this. Initially it was set up only as an ad hoc committee, but I would urge each one of you that if there is anything that you believe can do ease of doing business, and this is a little different from the Standards Forum. The Standards Forum takes the regulation and tries to identify the easiest way to comply with it. This ease of doing business is to question the regulations itself. So when you say that, something is antiquated, something that was set up 20 years ago is not relevant today, or that this risk is no longer there, that risk is no longer there. Let's take, for instance, a simple thing that all of you, of course, I have a lot of gray hair. I don't see that much gray hair across. But there was a time when investors didn't get their dividend, right? How many complaints there were on non-receipt of dividend? Then we used to have, investors have not got the annual report. How many complaints were there? Today, these issues are non-existent, right? The whole construct of the industry has changed in a manner to make it redundant. So if you believe that there is something where the regulation itself is redundant and needs a review, we welcome you to participate in these groups and to bring your suggestions on ease of doing business. We believe in SEBI that the ease of doing business is not just about reducing the compliances, but to make the compliance easier. So as I said, making standards so that then they can be automated and technology can be deployed. This is something that we have done within SEBI itself. Okay? So some of you I know have, recently been commenting about how you've suddenly started receiving notices from the stock exchanges which never came before, right? So for instance, something simple like saying, you're a corporate and your auditor, was not holding a certificate of being a peer-reviewed auditor on the date that he signed the audited accounts. Right? This is a regulation, right? Every listed company accounts have to be signed only by a peer-reviewed auditor holding a certificate. अब आज तक कोई देखता ही नहीं था, law है कोई देखता ही नहीं था. Now because of automation, and this is just one of the simplest examples I can give, the technology has been developed to be able to read it and say who is the auditor, who's given a certificate, and to cross-check and cross-tabulate that was he holding a certificate. It's really the most fundamental and very basic technology. I mean, SEBI, of course, now has very, very advanced technology. But I'm saying something even as simple as this. So I think that many of you will over the next, maybe over the last few years, you've already started experiencing it, and going forward you may experience more, that SEBI has moved away from what we loosely call risk-based supervision, which is a euphemism for साल में 3 बार जाओ, वहाँ पे जाके कुछ 3-4% सैंपल कलेक्ट करो, फिर ऑडिटर और कंपनी खूब लड़ाई झगड़ा करते हैं on interpretation of the law, फिर 3 साल बाद एक रिपोर्ट आती है, फिर कुछ adjudication होता है. Okay, this is very Baba Adam, right? We don't do this anymore. So you will observe that SEBI and the exchanges are moving very rapidly with the adoption of technology to becoming near real-time supervisors. So you are seeing less of it. The children who we call our own children, remember, आप तो physics वाले लोग हैं, लेकिन हमारे जो घर में बच्चे हैं, उनका तो 3-4 साल पहले ही शुरू हो गया था. Okay, so today, for instance, the mutual funds, every quarter the compliance head gets an email from SEBI. It's a whole automated process. If he or she opens that email, there's an Excel sheet attached. There are 12 or 13 tabs in it. And if she opens the first tab, and if it's blank, she heaves a sigh of relief. And next tab, if she sees some data there, it says to her that your such and such mutual fund scheme did such and such transaction on such and such day, which was violative of such and such section of SEBI regulation by a margin of such and such, and your penalty is such and such. 100% review of every transaction for every mutual fund in the country. So, for them now, actually, people thought they would be upset. The mutual fund industry is actually very happy with this. You know why? अब बिल्कुल clarity है. There is no argument with anybody कि law क्या है, उसका interpretation क्या है. वो algo बना के रखा है. Algo हमने उनको दे दिया. भैया, this is our interpretation of our law. So there is complete clarity. There is complete automation. And there is no waste of time. Okay, so when the compliance head gets this, these days, 9 times out of 10, we get an answer from the compliance head saying, yes, very sorry, this happened, and we already identified it, we've already corrected it, so there is mitigating circumstance, so we request you to waive the penalty or reduce the penalty or something. And it's just so seamless. As I said, it becomes a low hum in the background. So this is from our end. How has the industry reacted to it? When we started this, we were getting hundreds of violations, hundreds, big and small. Aaj ke din mein, if I open any mutual fund, I will probably not find more than 3 or 4, or wo bhi bahut chote violations. So they have become proactive because they have deployed the technology themselves. Okay, so the only reason we do this once a quarter, we can do it every day if we want, but we consciously don't do it because we say, you build your own technology, you identify your own violations, you fix them in advance so that when we come every quarter, you say, हाँ boss, पता है, fix हो गया है, that's it. Okay, so I'm saying the technology today is so smart and so capable that really if you apply your mind to it, you can make the entire compliance function run like a very, very smooth machine and take care of everything and no surprises, no suddenly having to report to your boss कि ये गलती हो गया, वो गलती हो गया. Everything is completely under control. So this is what I would wish for you. The use of technology to improve quality of compliance, efficiency. It costs so little to do this. The speed of compliance, and all of this, as I said, the cost, if you really consider the all-in cost, is very, very negligible. We did an exercise about maybe 2 years ago, where we asked through the exchanges data from a large number of companies on what was their cost of compliance in terms of their compliance team. Okay, and we said, please keep tax out of it. Okay, we don't want to be blamed for all your tax disputes. Please keep your sectoral regulator out of it. Only the compliances which deal with SEBI and by Induction Companies Act. And we found that the numbers were really, really very, very, what should I say, reflective of efficiency. So you're already there, you're already very efficient. I would urge you to adopt technology to make it even more efficient and seamless. The question, the example I gave you of mutual funds, that, you know, rather than doing a 1%, 2% sample, we now do 100% inspection. I think what this gives us, and it can give to you, is really peace of mind. As I said, all our bosses, you ask any boss in the world, what is the one thing you expect from me as your subordinate? And your boss will say, please don't give me any unpleasant surprises. Okay, I can handle anything. But you suddenly come into my room and say that something has blown up, that's not okay. So I think this is what gives you good peace of mind, and you sleep well at night, and therefore the job of converting the impossible into possible and making sure that compliance becomes a non-issue in each of the companies through this collaborative effort with the regulator, with the exchanges, using technology, so that we are all focused on actually creating the India of 2047. That is our aspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your leadership. Thank you for all the initiatives that you take in strengthening the market infrastructure. Allow me to indulge when I say this, that it's always a privilege and a pleasure hearing you. Time is always falling short whenever you address us. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up once again for our honorable chief guest. With that, we've arrived at the vote of thanks. I'd like to invite CS Ashish Mohan, Secretary at the ICSI, to please do the needful.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Chief Guest Madam Madhavi Puri Buch, Chairperson SEBI, CSB Narasimhan, President ICSI, CS Dhananjay Shukla, Vice President ICSI, CS Pawan Chandak, Program Director and Council Member ICSI, CS Mehul Rajput, Chairman WIRC, CS Manish Gupta, Immediate Past President, esteemed Council Members here, esteemed former Presidents, members of the regional councils and the chapters, distinguished guests, proud members, virtual delegates, dear students and team ICSI. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you once again. It is with immense pride and deep gratitude that I stand before this distinguished assembly on the revered occasion of the 52nd Convention of Company Secretaries. We are today truly honored to have Madam Madhavi Puri Buch, Chairperson SEBI, as our chief guest and for gracing the occasion with your august presence, Madam. Your insights into evolving regulatory landscape and your commitment to nurturing transparency, accountability and investor protection have been incredibly enlightening. Your leadership, Madam, continually inspires us to strengthen corporate governance, frameworks and reinforce our role as guardians of compliance and ethical practice in financial markets. We also wish to acknowledge and extend our appreciation for the insightful and well-crafted presentation delivered by the Chairperson SEBI, which added great value and depth to the program. A big round of applause to Chairperson SEBI. Madam, we are also grateful to SEBI for placing trust in the profession of company secretaries and recognizing their valuable contributions to strengthening corporate governance and promoting transparency, which are vital for enhanced stakeholder protection. Thank you very much, Madam. Dear members, as we approach the centenary year of India's independence in 2047, the theme India at 2047, Expanding Horizons for Professionals, encapsulates the vision of a progressive India that embraces innovation, inclusivity and sustainability while recognizing the critical role that company secretaries play in shaping the corporate landscape. I'm also happy to share that we have a very distinguished panel of speakers from the government, industry, academia and professional fraternity joining this national convention, who would share their knowledge, wisdom, expertise for broadening our perspectives and deepening our understanding of the wider role we play in driving the ethical practices. Dear members, an event of such magnitude could not have been a memorable one without a great leadership at the helm. Let me express my gratitude to CSB Narasimhan, President ICSI, CS Dhananjay Shukla, Vice President ICSI, CS Pawan Chandak, Program Director and Council Member ICSI, CS Manish Gupta, Immediate Past President ICSI, and all the Central Council members of ICSI. I must also thank and acknowledge a very special gratitude to all the former presidents here, all the regional council members, chairman and managing committee members of the chapters. A special thanks to the team ICSI. I would like to extend this gratitude to all of you whose tireless efforts and meticulous planning have made this event a resounding success. A big round of applause to all of you. A very, very special thanks to Hardik for wonderfully navigating this afternoon. So again, once again, happy learning to all of you. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai ICSI.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohan. It's now time that we thank our honorable chief guest for her incredible presence and the time and the words that she shared with us here this afternoon. I would request the President and Vice President ICSI to please share our token of appreciation. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. and ensuring that the regulated and the regulator are always finding ways to collaborate and ensure that the market is strengthened. And I will request our dignitaries to please keep standing. It's now time that we have the national anthem, and I will request all the members, the delegates, to please rise. Can we please have the national anthem in 3, 2, and 1.
पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Okay. At this juncture, I will request all the council members of ICSI to please quickly step forward for a group photograph. I will request all the council members to please quickly make way on the stage for a group photograph. Thank you very much. And while we take this picture, I will also request all the former presidents of ICSI in the room to please stay on cue. You'll be requested shortly on the stage. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you once again to all the council members for joining us on the stage. We'll now quickly move on to the former presidents of ICSI sitting in the room to join us on the stage for a quick group photograph. Thank you all the presidents for all the work that you've done through the years and ensure that you've strengthened